All right. So, the Coast Guard just released footage of Oceangate CEO Stockton Rush's wife unknowingly reacting to the death of her husband, who was crumpled alive in the Titan Submersible. What's that bang? Randy Rush was heard asking. According to the Coast Guard's investigation, the Titan's carbon fiber shell started breaking apart during a previous mission to the Titanic. The carbon fiber began separating into layers, which is a process called delamination. Delamination at Dive 80 was the beginning of the end, said U.S. Coast Guard Lieutenant Commander Katie Williams. Everyone that stepped aboard the Titan after Dive 80 was risking their life. Clothing belonging to Rush was found in the wreckage, including business cards. So, for those of you who don't know about the Titan sub, well, this was in 2023. And the Titan sub was a very interesting segment to talk about, to cover, to address. 2023 seems like decades ago now. And this was a private business in which you had Stockton Rush was trying to be the Elon Musk of deep ocean diving. On the one hand, I commend his courage. On the other hand, boy, what were you thinking creating a sub that everyone and their mama in the submarine community was saying, don't do it, don't do it. So this is actual footage of the reaction. No, not of the sub imploding, but of what was happening to the mothership that was carrying the Titan sub and the 5 unfortunate souls that were lost. And no, there was remains, but everything was gelatin. Under that pressure, thankfully, it was quick. God willing, it was.
400 meters to go.
Yeah. It should be about 500 meters, 30. What was that bang?
We're going to rewind that. That was the bang.
Meters, 30. What was that bang? Meters, 30. What was that bang?
It was so quick.
Meters, 30. What was that bang? Drop 2 weights. Titan drop 2 weights.
Copy. Titan drop 2 weights.
So he meant to go down fairly light. I think that exactly what happened.
Any attempt for communication? Because I know as soon as they heard what was that bang, I don't know. Maybe I would have been like, let's do communication here real quick.
Wingspan to the platform. Go ahead, platform. We're going to diver 419. Please dive equipment checklist. There's a line that says spare sector. More than 5 available. Say again. Right here. Repeat last. Diver 419, please dive equipment checklist. A line says, it's spare deck bricks, more than 5 available. The platform was light, therefore we need more bricks here, correct? Negative.
I want to just comment what Flex Diggs said. Flex, so listen, buddy, I'm in full agreement with you. I like the idea. It wasn't a Nintendo controller, though. You're way off, buddy. Way off. It was more reminiscent of the design of a PlayStation controller, but it wasn't a PlayStation controller. I like the idea. I like the Nintendo controller they had for steering. That would calm my nerves going 20,000 leagues under the sea. Yeah, I don't like that either. Okay, that's just me. That's just my opinion. Pretty soon, even giving my opinion about a sub might cause me to get censored.
Schedules, the platform, those weights can be on the platform and just be ready to transfer to the sub.
Roger that. Thank you for confirming.
We've lost tracking.
Can you confirm how many bricks are on the platform currently?
Robert Morrison, which is, hey, great profile picture with Ergo Proxy. Time to use a drawing board. Yeah, well, let's see. Yes, that's where we're at. And yes, what's up, everybody? Welcome everybody to that. And Mustafa D says, laughing at Flex's comment about the ship. So the moment Oceangate's Titan submersible was lost, has been revealed in footage recorded on the sub's support ship. The Titan imploded about 90 minutes into a descent. Which, by the way, look, there were a lot of influential people, rich people who were on that sub. Most notably, a 18-year-old young man who went there with the insistence of his father to see the sunken remains of the Titanic. And look, even when James Cameron did his legendary expedition to the sunken remains of the Titanic, I want to be clear on this, folks. A lot of concern was brought up about the safety, the pressure, and the Titan sub did not meet the standards of the overall submersible community. I mean, there were many people waving red flags about the danger that this sub could pose, not only to the business, but to the potential people that were going to be inside said sub. And look, I'm all for a great adventure here and there, but not at the cost of my life, especially when everything was bought on the cheap. Yeah, it might work once, twice. Apparently, it worked 79 times in a row, but the 80th time was the charm. Just want to pull this up here as well. Sorry, wrong. That's the video. The passengers that had paid to see the ship, which lie now 3,800 meters down. On board were Oceangate CEO Stockton Rush, British explorer Hamish Harding, veteran French diver Paul Henry Nagalot, and British-Pakistani businessman Sadaz Dawood and his son Solomon. Condolences to everybody, okay? Especially to the young man who lost his life. The BBC has had unprecedented access to the U.S. Coast Guard's USCG investigation for a documentary, Implosion, the Titanic Sub Disaster. The video has been presented as evidence to the USCG Marine Board of Investigation, which has spent the last 2 years looking into the sub's catastrophic failure. The documentary also reveals the carbon fiber used to build the submersible started to break apart a year before the fatal dive. Titan's support ship was with the sub while it was diving in the Atlantic Ocean. The video shows Miss Rush, who was director of Oceangate, with her husband sitting in front of a computer that was used to send and receive text messages from Titan. When a sub reaches a depth of about 3,300 meters, a noise that sounds like a door slamming its head, Miss Rush is seen to pause, then look up and ask other Oceangate crew members what that noise was. Within moments, she then receives a text message from the sub saying it had dropped 2 weights, which seems to have led her to mistakenly think that the dive was proceeding as expected. The USCG says the noise was in fact the sound of the Titan imploding, and it was quick. However, the text message, which must have been sent before the sub failed, took longer to reach the ship than the sound of the implosion. All 5 people on the board, Titan, died instantaneously. So here we go, descending through, confirmed having trouble entering point of view of the ship. All good here. And then the POA orcs are southeast of the end bow. Drop 2 weights, communication is lost. So just before they even got to the submersible of the RMS Titanic, that's where they're at. Prior to the fatal dive, warnings have been raised by deep sea experts and former Oceangate employees about the Titan's design. One described it as an abomination and said the disaster was inevitable. Titan had never undergone an independent safety assessment known as a certification, and a key concern was the hull, the main body of the sub, where passengers sat, was made of layers of carbon fiber mixed with resin. Now, carbon fiber and resin with saltwater ocean and heavy pressure are bedfellows that should never mix together. And in turn, it was only a matter of time. Not if, but when. Carbon fiber is a highly unusual material for deep sea submersible because it is unreliable under pressure. A known problem is that the layers of carbon fiber can separate, a process called delamination. The USCG believes that the carbon fiber layers of the hull started to break apart during the dive to the Titanic, which took place a year before the disaster, the 80th dive that the Titan had made. Passengers on board reported hearing a loud bang as the sub made its way back to the surface. They said at the time, Mr. Rush said the noise was the sub shifting in its frame, which I would say, get me out of this thing. Get me out of this thing. Get me out of this thing. You know, there were sometimes you just can't help people. Sometimes you just can't help people. But here is the remnants of the infamous Titan sub. Businessman Osen Fanning, who was on board the Titan for the last 2 dives before the disaster. If you're asking a simple question, would I go again knowing what I know now? The answer is no, he told the BBC. I would not go, period. Okay? Because here's the thing. I'll never be a multi-billionaire. I don't think that's ever going to happen in my lifetime. I mean, who knows? Whatever, right? Don't play the lottery. It's gambling, folks. That's all it is. It's glorified gambling that doesn't look like gambling, but it is. But if you have everything, instead of going on crazy adventures that could cost you your life, or I don't know, doing something insane, I don't know, maybe give back. If you got so much wealth, give it back to the world. You know, I mean, that's what I've learned. You know, if something good happens to you, give it back the best way you can. Okay. If you're asking a simple question, would I go again? And knowing what I know now, the answer is no. A lot of people would not have gone. Very intelligent people who lost their lives, who had they had all the facts, would not have made that journey. Deep sea explorer Victor Veskov, who had said he had gave misgivings about the Titan and that he had told people that diving a sub was like that was playing Russian roulette. I myself warned people away from getting into that submersible. I specifically told them that it was simply a matter of time before it failed catastrophically. I told Stockton Rush himself that I believed that. After the sub imploded, its mangled wreckage was discovered across the sea floor of the Atlantic. The USCG has described the process of sifting through the recovery debris and said clothing from Mr. Rush had been found, as well as business cards and stickers of the Titanic. And these are the victims. My sympathies really go out to the young man, the son, Solomon, who, before he got in the sub, was having huge misgivings about this, but wanted to do this for his father anyways. But he had a lot of reservations. Again, this is an article from the BBC. Later this year, the United States Coast Guard will publish a final report of the findings from its investigation, which aims to establish what went wrong and prevent a disaster like this from ever happening again. Speaking to the BBC documentary team, Christina Dawood, who lost her husband, Shadas, and son Solomon disaster, said it had changed her forever. I don't think anybody who goes through such loss and trauma can ever be the same. No one ever can be. So, again, for those of you who just tuned in, this is the infamous moment of when it took place.
500 meters, 30.
I like how the camera just zooms in. What was that bang?
500 meters, 30. What was that bang?
And that's when it happened. I've seen many documentaries about this Titan sub, how there have been warnings and misgivings about this. I get it, starting a new adventure, starting a new life. Condolences to everyone involved, to the families, to the people that have lost everyone. But the great adventure, the great journey to the bottom of the ocean. Be careful. Be careful. And just real quick here. Okay. Mustafa says, my goodness, this is a murder scene. Absolutely. Pat Brannigan says, tells you that just being rich means nothing about intelligence. Lawrence Fine makes me hungry for a sub sandwich. Get out of here with that, okay? Moral of the story. Don't listen to your dad ever, okay? What else we got here? And Richard Cron, Elon Musk is slightly less stupid than a sub-billionaire. Bang a gong. And Lawrence Fine, did you hear that? Hear what? Oh, no. Everyone's hearing this, okay? Everyone's hearing this. So the conclusion is, while this investigation is taking place, corners have been cut. People were being negligent. And in turn, it cost people their lives. Very sad. Very sad indeed.